A very warm and pleasant good morning to all our respected dignitaries, distinguished resource persons, faculty members, researchers, and dear participants. I hope everyone had an enriching first day of our faculty development program. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the Day 2, Session 1 of the AICTE Training and Learning Faculty Development Program on Applied Energy Engineering from Renewable Systems to Sustainable Practices. As we begin today's technical sessions, I sincerely thank each one of you for your enthusiastic participation and active engagement. Today's session focuses on one of the most significant aspects of sustainable development: energy efficient buildings, green construction practices, and environmental sustainability. Main focus will be on necessity and scope of an energy audit. As India moves toward achieving its energy conservation and net zero goals, as we have learned yesterday, sustainable building design has become an essential pillar of modern engineering. It is indeed my privilege and honor to introduce today's distinguished resource person. Our speaker, Mr. Saibal Saha, is a highly accomplished civil engineer with more than 3 decades of professional experience in civil engineering, architectural engineering, and sustainable construction. Since 2017, he has been serving as an enlisted energy conservation building code ECBC expert professional certified by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, providing consultancy in building energy efficiency, green building certification, energy audits, and environmental management. He has also conducted over 100 awareness programs and workshops on ECBC implementation and adaptive thermal comfort for government officials across various Indian states. Throughout his distinguished career, Mr. Saha has held senior positions in renowned organizations including Usha Martin Limited, Simplex Infrastructure Limited, Bengal Sashi Housing Developers, Texas Resource Private Limited, and several prestigious engineering consultancies, contributing significantly to sustainable infrastructure development and project management. He graduated in civil engineering from Durgapur University and further strengthened his expertise with a postgraduate diploma in urban environment management and law. His impressive list of professional recognition includes Fellow of Indian Green Building Council, LEED Green Associate, Certified Energy Auditor by Bureau of Energy Efficiency, BEE, Certified Engineer, Professional Engineer, Master Trainer of the Energy Conservation Building Code, and many more. His outstanding contribution in the field was recognized internationally when he received the prestigious Energy Engineer of the Year 2019, an award from the Association of Energy Engineers, USA. He has also authored research publications in internationally reputed journals and professional magazines focusing on energy efficient and sustainable building technologies. We are truly fortunate to have such an eminent expert with us today to share his valuable knowledge and practical insights. So ladies and gentlemen, before we invite our esteemed resource person to commence today's technical session, it is our privilege to extend a small token of our respect and gratitude. May I now request our esteemed principal, Principal Professor Dr. Arijit Banerjee, to kindly felicitate our distinguished resource person. On behalf of Dr. Polytechnic, the organizing committee, and all the participants, I extend a heartfelt welcome to Mr. Saibal Saha. Sir, we are honored by your gracious presence and eagerly look forward to learning from your vast experience. May I now request our respected resource person, Mr. Saibal Saha, to kindly take over the session. Thank you, sir.
and a very enthusiastic good morning to all of you, the participants, the faculties, and who are here, the distinguished principal sir. So, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, today's session, right, it is overall, it is not only audit, it is the environmental practice adopted in India. I will be going through some historical background of it and the development. Actually, whatever system or principles or protocols were a year ago is now changed further to encompass the entire carbon emission principles. I think it would be better if it could be an interactive session with you. So, may I know the backgrounds of the participants here? Just a small introduction.
Sir, Abhishek Pal from Water Science and Technology.
Okay,
Sir, this is Abhishek Mondal from Electrical Engineering.
great.
Sumant Das from Software Science. Software Engineering.
Okay.
Rohit Dey from Business and Mathematics.
Mathematics.
I am Durgapur, Department of Chemistry, Basic Science.
Fantastic.
Dr. Saurabh Das, Chemistry background. Chemistry.
Chemistry.
Dr. Saurabh Bhattacharya, Chemistry background. Rahul Ghosh, Department of Electrical Engineering.
Okay.
Urunam Chakraborty, Mechanical.
Great.
Good morning, sir. Samachar Mukherjee from Civil Engineering Department.
Fantastic.
Saurabh Das from Electrical Engineering.
Okay.
Good morning, Honorable from Electrical Engineering Department.
Udit Pal, Civil Engineering. Tanmay Mondal from Civil Engineering. Rashmati Panda from Civil Engineering Department.
Morning, sir. Prashant Bagchi, Electrical Engineering.
Shobhit Chakraborty from Mechanical Engineering Department. Dr. Mujib from Computer Science and Technology.
Dr. Chandan Pal, Electrical Engineering.
Myself, Moda Shwamatra from Electrical Engineering Department.
Durgapur Pal from Electrical Engineering. Sontu Mundu from Computer Science and Technology.
Amlan Datta from Mechanical Engineering.
Jivadip Pal, Mechanical Engineering.
Saurabh Dey from Mechanical Engineering Department.
Fantastic. Actually, this should be the audience because whatever I want to discuss, I want to disseminate with you is of diverse fields. It includes electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, definitely chemistry, because environment, particularly emissions, are mainly of chemistry background. Your civil engineering, because when we are dealing with construction practice or creating something, so civil engineering is a must for that. And this energy environment, it is a multidisciplinary facility. Anyone who wants to become an auditor or an ECSBC expert or environmental experts, they must have learned all myself is of civil engineering background. But when I got interest in this energy efficiency and environmental practice, then I found that there are all these things, means electrical, mechanical, chemical, and even computer science, because IoT is now a main focus area of environmental management. Without IoT and without proper data segregation, you cannot move with environmental management, environmental reporting. So even many computer scientists who are working with sensor, BMS system, building management system, even if a large industrial means institution or company must have these IoT type of sensors throughout their lives, so that data collection and reporting could be done, and definitely proper action on the basis of the data that could be done. So I will be coming direct to the point. Sometimes it may seem that something is repetitive, or it may seem something is just superficial. So if you have any question at any point of time during the presentation, please feel free to ask me. So today's topic has already been elaborated. Now I am coming to the policy landscape. How this energy environmental auditing system is being developed in our country. The first step, some of the data or government policy I refer here. My email ID are available here. So if you could, if you want these things in the government notification or draft rule, you just give that an inquiry. I will reply to you directly. Government of India draft notification came into the year 2018. It set the groundwork. It set the groundwork of mandatory audits, not only in large buildings, in large commercial buildings, but irrespective of buildings of any type, so that these energy and environmental thing could be implemented. Key regulatory bodies are Bureau of Energy Efficiency under Ministry of Power and Ministry of Environment and Forest. The compliance imperative audits are no longer optional. They are legally mandated to align national infrastructure with zero emission targets. Audit scope, energy, environment, system integration. In energy, comprehensive assessment of electricity consumption, it is building type, I will be coming to the industry also. HVAC efficiency, lighting system, identifying peak load reduction opportunities. And environmental scope, evaluation of water usage, solid waste management, wastewater treatment, localized impact on biodiversity, and ambient air quality. Now, when we are talking about building, ambient air quality, actually it is the indoor environmental indoor environmental parameters when we are focusing on building. But when we are focusing on the environment, not only within the building but outside the building also, then other parameters would also be coming. So then what the building emits and pollutes the ambient air, that also should be taken care of. For building, it is indoor environmental quality only. Now, system integration, analyzing how energy and environmental metrics overlap, ensuring improvements in one domain do not negatively offset the other. just when I will be coming to the historical background, all these things would be covered.
So what is it? HVAC means?
Heat, ventilation, air conditioning. So this system, it is actually giving you the comfort. That is also a big subject, thermal comfort. And our energy consumption, particularly in non-residential building, is mostly on the HVAC system. In a commercial building, either it is office or a mall or a hospital, if it is a conditioned building, mostly those are conditioned because of the parameters, and the thermal comfort we require for many things. It is could be social, could be economical, and could be the environmental degradation or global warming that in most of the spaces in commercial areas are now conditioned. So more than 50 to 60% of the energy consumptions in a commercial building are coming from HVAC system due to your thermal comfort. Now, 4-step audit cycle: planning, data collection, analysis, and reporting. Planning, when we get an auditing job or commission, then first we need to have the preliminary audit. In preliminary audit, we ask for data. What is the type of building? What is the built-up area? Whether the building plans are available. What is the extent of the project site? What is the use of different parts of the building? What type of systems, air conditioning, ventilation type of fans, lighting, other means hot water system, cold water system, or if you have any other kind of solar renewable energy integrated within the building, if you have DG set, all these things, and their scheduling means what is the timing of the building, how many people generally attend the building, during what time. So scheduling is another most important thing for preliminary data collection. We need to know how many people for what time is being present at any place. And that also not only the energy for water, solid waste, even liquid waste, your STP or these kinds of things, we need to know at the very beginning of the audit. So at the time of planning, what we do, we prepare a schematic as well as a questionnaire and send that to the owner of the building. From their feedback, after data collection, we are going to on-site measurement. If we think that yes, the detailed audit could gives you a very good result, and if you are really intend to upgrade your building or your institution to the next level for energy efficiency, then we would be going for data collection, on-site measurement, deploying smart meter, conducting interview, and with facility management, and then analysis, benchmark performance, calculating carbon footprints, and running simulation model for proposed upgrades. Do you have any idea about simulation models, the computer engineering background people?
Sir, actually, before exactly doing the things which we want to do, we have to set some parameters, and according to that parameter, that some model will be designed, which is not the exact model. Actually, by setting some parameters beforehand, we can just get some model which is similar like the original model.
And the civil engineering people, do you familiar with the StatPro type of thing? Means for structural designing? Stat Pro, ETAP. Okay, but in Stat Pro, you are simulating a model. You are designing the building without actually you are getting performance of the building without actually erecting the building. So earlier we have been doing with hand calculation. Now with advanced software like Stat Pro or ETAP, we generally do the design through those softwares. Those are simulation softwares. When we make the model and run the model, actually we simulate the model. So that is another thing. And for the mechanical background people, do you have any idea about thermal or heat load calculation? Have you any idea? Have you ever done that? Any software related thing for calculating the electrical means in fact system capacity? Means there are 4 indoor unit, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it is 2 tons or 1.5 ton, 2 tons I think. 2 tons, 8 tons indoor unit is installed here. So what is the background? Whether it is not 4 ton, why it is 8 ton? So there should be a background calculation. The calculation is called heat load calculation. So when we are doing the calculation, we consider this site, whether it is west face, east face, whether there is another floor above, what is the maximum population here, what is the lighting load. So all these things we are doing, we could do through means manually as per National Building Code of India. But there are many softwares, and we could do very easily, not for a small room like this, but for a big institutional building, big commercial building like a super specialty hospital or a big mall. We can calculate the tonnage of the each and every space. That also requires simulation software. So without going into that detail, we would be using getting the data. Now, what we are doing here during energy audit, we prepare a model of all these things would be in the slides coming later. But I just discussing these things. When coming to that slide, I'm just gliding over that. So what we do, we prepare a model. Just this, we have the architectural plan definitely. That this is the dimension of this room, this is the window, dimension of the window. So all these data we need to collect from your architectural drawings. And from that CAD drawing, we prepare a model, energy simulation model. And there are several energy simulations models accepted by Bureau of Energy Efficiency or ASHRAE. There is another very important institutional body, global accepted. Actually, Bureau of Energy Efficiency has copied the thing from them and denied it. Government of India always do. They have copied from several, even our constitution is like that. With Baba Saheb Ambedkar, he has copied from several other constitutions. But it is a fact. Our IS 456, the civil engineering people very well know that. The 456 copied from BS. So many of these things are copied from globally accepted institutions. Bureau of Energy Efficiency and their codes are copied from ASHRAE, A-S-H-R-A-E. ASHRAE, they have these simulation and energy auditing guidelines. The L1, L2, L3, all these things I will be coming afterwards. But when we prepare a model, that ASHRAE specified model, with that model, we need to integrate the building parameters, envelope, lighting, people, occupancy, receptacle load means plug loads, everything we will enter into the model and then run the model. When the result annual energy report comes, we need to check with your 3 years historical data. In the past 3 years, month-wise, how much consumptions were done. So, in the month of January in last 3 years, this much consumption kilowatt hour we get from the electricity bills. And our simulation model, what it is, we check that. And here also there is a ASHRAE specific deviation list. We cannot go beyond 5% month-wise and overall year-wise 7.5 to 10%. So the deviation should not be more than that. Deviation would be there because climate is changing. Last 3 years data would not be actually replicated with whatever data we are getting, and that also based on 32 years weather file. Means our weather file, we integrate the weather file into our model, and the weather file actually, that weather file is actually 32 years previous years weather second by second of a year. And that weather comes into that simulation model to give us how much energy would be required to be comfortable within a building. How to be comfortable? We specify a room temperature. Here the room temperature is 21. So thermostat temperature 21. But we told to put thermostat temperature not less than 20. So it is either under designed or we are putting it unnecessarily. So in 24 degrees centigrade with a relative humidity 50% above, we should feel comfortable. With this glow value, all of us here in a full sleeve shirt almost, pants, shoes, so it has also a value called CLO, C-L-O. And I am just standing here discussing something, you are sitting there, so you have some other value than me, that is called MET, M-E-T, MET. So if I am playing basketball or table tennis, the heat I am generating is not the same as the standing and telling you something. So activity, that is called metabolic rate. So metabolic rate in short form, it is MET, MET, MET. And the clothing we ensemble, we are put on, that is called CLO. So all these things came into being when we design and making the model. That model gives you annual energy consumption. And that annual energy consumption should be in line with your 3 years historical data. So what we need? We need to and fro, to make our model to be in line with that, with the historical data. And then what data we get, we need to change. Suppose this is a clear glass thing with some lines inside. We don't want to have blinds, so we want to see outside. We need to have a connectivity with our outside. So we may put a double glazing system there. Double glazing system, do you know about it? Double glazing system? No. In a train, AC train, there are double glazing because of the energy efficiency. So double glazing is a must. That double glazing, in some projects of us, we are using triple glazing. Per square meter cost is so high, but the flat cost of there, Dover Lane or something, 25 to 30,000 per square feet in Kolkata. So triple layer glazing also being used there to get the energy efficiency, to get the green building ready. So then we need to change the glass. We may put I am not, I just want to scare you. You don't need to do that. So we may need to change the lighting, even the lighting positions also. So, and for each and every activity, there is a cost involved. So, and we can get the annual energy consumption by changing one or by changing all. And then we reach the value that this would be your cost to change that thing and your annual energy consumption reduction is this. So your return on investment ROI is this. So if you it has a cost of 5 lakhs of rupees and you have a saving of 2 lakh per annum. So 2.5 years would be required in direct arithmetic. 2.5 years will be required to have the investment return. And then if it put for another 40 years, that 40 years is free. So that is the calculation we are doing. There are other calculations also. It is a very simple return on investment. There are other NPV, net present value. It is a financial thing. What is the net present value of the cost we put now for energy efficiency? So these are the things we will be discussing afterwards. So then reporting. This reporting has all these things. Energy efficiency we measure, financial part, time involved. You may need to put this room kept for some time unoperational. So there is a cost also. So we need to make all these things in our report. Now, recent development. There are so many recent developments. Just 10-15 days ago, Government of India also came with a draft regulation. I'll be coming to that. NPC as EAD. These EADA, so many learned persons are here. All of my presence today here would be successful, I think, if any one of you would be interested to take up the exam, either by Bureau of Energy Efficiency or NPC. The exam lists are also there. Registration link is open. If you want to participate in the exam, that would be the only success, I think, for being here. If I can ignite the passion to go into this. So NPC, National Productivity Council, is going to conduct EADA, Certified Environmental Auditor exam. Now, they are standardized certifications, Certified Environmental Auditor, Registered Environmental Auditor, and recently you may know the Government of India that also conducted by National Productivity Council, but the mother body is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Every year they conduct one examination that is to have certified energy auditor, certified energy manager. And certified energy auditor, to become certified energy auditor, each and everyone, I think, in this room are eligible. You can sit for certified energy auditor exam by National Productivity Council, and the certificate will be issued by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. If you pass the exam, you could be regarded as an certified energy auditor. In 25 certified energy auditor exam has been done last year. This year, on 25th to 27th September, 26 certified energy auditor exam coming with a new thing. What is the new thing? There is a new thing called Certified Energy Auditor Rating. CEA bracket D. What would be the role of certified energy auditor building? Why there is a requirement of certified energy auditor building? We, the certified energy auditors, told that we are here. Why there is another need for certified energy auditor? Building, there is building specific energy auditors. whether that institute or that organization or that person has these accreditation with them. Certified energy auditor building, certified energy environmental auditor or registered environmental auditor. It could be a must. Last 15-20 days ago or 1 month ago, Ministry of Power came up with a new draft notification that tells that any building project, future means upcoming, any building project more than 20,000 square meter of built up area would be mandatorily star leveled. Minimum 3-star level should be acquired by the owner or developer of the building. Have you any idea about the industry that 2006 notification of Ministry of Environment Forest? Any idea? No. So tell me about environment. Till date, from 2006 today, today, any projects having categorized by ministry prior environmental clearance is required. There is a list, a huge list. There are 8 types of industry, and in the last, in 8, it is built. The building projects having built up area more than 20,000 square meter, before commencement of construction, they must get environmental clearance either from your state environmental assessment committee or central environment assessment committee, depending whether your state has that committee or not. Now, so it was the environmental rule by Ministry of Environment and Forest. Any project more than 20,000 would require that environmental clearance till date. But Ministry of Power came with a new thing. They tell, yeah, we understand. I'll be showing you the recent gazette notification or draft notification. They tell that it has been found that building industry is responsible for carbon emission more than 30% annually of all the emissions. So, building industry should get star rating mandatory apart from any other clearances prevailing till date. So, the developer who is going to develop another project more than 20,000 square meter built up area, they need to get environment clearance and again need to get star rating from the Ministry of Power. So, these star rating could only be done by the certified energy auditor building. So, do you understand the implication? One star rating project could cost minimum 10 to 12 lakhs of rupees on certain cities. How many projects are there in Bengal only? Annually, if you get the survey, then this much of potential is here only. You need not to go to Maharashtra and other big states, Gujarat. So there is a huge scope and potential of this. But this potential, it is not the developer body, CREDAI, they are not very happy with this notification. They strongly object that another thing and we need to spend more, but it is a market requirement. The green building rating, there you may know, in West Bengal, for if you have your project pre-certified, there is a levels of certification. One is pre-certification, another is final certification. In pre-certification, you are getting the project certified as a design intent certification. Means we will be doing this, we will be doing these, all these things. Just like environment clearance. We are pledging to do this. And on the basis of that, different bodies, like Griha Council, Indian Green Building Council, LEED, they are giving you a pre-certification rating. And with that pre-certification rating, you get 10% additional floor area. So, these 10% additional floor area, where the flats are being sold at 10,000 above per square feet, this 10% additional floor area gives a boon to the developer's kitty. Now, it is called incentive-based implementation of green rating or energy efficient, environment efficient buildings. But government is now not happy with giving you incentive. You have to do that. You need to score something mandatorily. Why I would be giving you a scholarship for scoring 60% marks? So many people are there to score 60%. Why I would be giving you another scholarship? So it is not given. So no incentive could be, it is a state policy. Incentive could be here or not. But government is mandating that these things are to be done. Minimum standard. So this is the thing 26 CEA, the part.
Sir, click.
Okay. Now, modern audits rely on advanced diagnostic tools. I have told you the simulation part, that energy simulation softwares. Some softwares are open source softwares. If you want to implement that thing or get it into your curriculum as a special subject, you can get it. And these are free softwares. And there are trainers available who could train you about those. So many YouTube videos are there, 1.5 hour videos are there. You can get those softwares into your curriculum, into your activity. So in research activity also, in future projects, you can take part into that. So apart from that software, thermal imaging, smart metering, these two things I didn't cover. Means when we are going to auditing in detail for a project, maybe a hospital project, generally hospitals are doing detailed auditing. So we need to have thermal imaging. Whether there is a thermal leak, means there is actually all the conduits are concrete. So if there is any leak, we could understand without making any cutting or disturbing the system. With a thermal imaging system, you can get the hotspots. The hotspots, from there, you can detect and rectify. So thermal imaging, smart metering is a kind of thing we need to put into a building where data loggers are there. Smart metering, log the data, store the data. And just like IoT, it communicates with you in your laptop, in your mobile. So just like that, you may be aware of that through your Android system or iPhone system, you can switch on your AC without going to the car. Switch on the AC. Even you can switch on your irrigation system, means sprinkler or a drip of your garden at USA. I have seen personally, and you can get the photographs there in your iPhone. I mean, just not iPhone, iPad type of thing. So from here they are operating their gardening, means all the irrigation taps are open, and just stopped, and photographs are coming. So these are the IoTs. The smart home concept not yet very much popular in our cities, but in Mumbai or where the property costs are much more, smart home is a minimum thing a developer offer there. You can operate all the things, you can get all the data, means how much energy is being consumed from your AC, from your lighting, geyser, everything. And so many companies are now coming with these sensors, these types of things in your panel. A special panel within your room, means in your flat or in your room, any particular room. So these are smart metering system. We already acquainted with last 10 years. These things are available in the market. Could not get because of the pricing, could not get the momentum, but it is a fact. And maybe in next 2-3 years, when energy cost would be much more, then we can think of that viability. Now coming to the next level. Now till now I am talking about auditing. Auditing means this much energy consumption, this much water consumption, this much your solid waste generation, or all these things. We are auditing for environment as well as energy. Now the global system changed to another level. They told that no, we are not bothered for your auditing. Stop it. We have last 30 years, we have done so many auditing. The result is not very enthusiastic. Please come with a value. The banks are asking, your building is 3-star, your building is 4-star. The star rating range is 70 to 80 points. So a project scoring 70 is a 4-star. A project scoring 79 also a 4-star. So what is the advantage or extra what a project ensure or claim just scoring another 9 points? Whether scoring 1 point is very difficult, then scoring another 9 points, they are still at the same level of a rating system. So they are not very much interested into scoring level, 4-star, 3-star, not scoring level. They come with a very specific value. What is your carbon footprint? Tell me. And this carbon footprint comes from life cycle assessment, LCA. In your life cycle assessment, there are boundaries. In boundaries, you need to have cradle to gate, cradle to grave, cradle to cradle also. Means what material we are using, the bricks, the cement, the RCC, the steel, the floorings, the paintings, the glass, the AC, all these things come into being here in our buildings. So each and everything has a carbon footprint, and that is called embodied energy. Embodied within the building materials, it is kept, and it is there for another 60-70 years within this building. This is the embodied energy, and the embodied energy has a value. Now, who are familiar with LCA, life cycle assessment, they know that each and every material has a very wide range of calculation and has a value. So this is one part, and then we are transporting, constructing the building. So there is another energy part. We are using mixture, transit mixer. We are using cranes, hopper, so many things. So there is another energy consumption. And then coming to the use, then what we are talking about now, that energy consumption of our building. So that economy would be net zero by 2070. Whereas the other countries like China, they committed it to be by 2050. We need to get another 20 years to reach it. And just initiating the journey, we find that it is so hard to adapt. All these certified energy, environmental auditor, certified energy auditor building, so stringency in building codes, so stringency in your STP and all are because of that target 2070. And NZEB, actually, these things, we are trying to minimize our operational footprint, operational energy consumption as minimum as possible, be negative. So whatever we would generate, we consume less than that. So that is net positive building. Zero is when it equates. Now, when we are thinking of that scope, that thing, then your embodied energy becomes more important. Now, the focus shifts from operational carbon footprint to your building material carbon. So, now we are trying to reduce the footprint of our steel, our cement, even our raw materials like stone chips sand. So we are reusing the synthetic, means the demolition debris, construction debris into again recycled within the system to reduce the mining, to reduce the virgin. So focus shifted from here. Now the regulations still, there are so many regulations, so many development already happened. And myself, standing here, I tell you that in a very minor way, we are also a participant in all those things. We are trying to be in line with those in the government regulations. Let me tell you something more. Life cycle assessment and international frameworks. So, I am talking about net zero. I am talking about reduction of carbon. Now, the global community, they will be asking, how do you measure? What is your benchmark? We need to adopt a system that is a globally accepted. The ISO, International Organization of Standardization, has the framework. I will be coming to that, but for life cycle assessment, we follow two ISO systems, ISO 14040 and ISO 14044 or 45. So these two protocols through which we are working on life cycle assessment of any building product also. So whatever I have told, that's just a very preliminary. Now coming to a detailed part. Policy landscape I have already told. Definitive guide to policy frameworks, mandates, compliance parameters established by the Ministry of Power and Environment. It would be a big talk from a very small person. I am not recognized by anybody, let alone Government of India, not even my fraternity. They didn't recognize. But just a small story, I am telling you that thing. When this ECPC 2017 was getting implemented throughout the country, they have done is the Government of India, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, given the work of implementation to a big architectural company of Delhi. They started country-wise journey. Each and every city, they start stakeholder consultation. In Kolkata also, in the year 2016 or something, they had such kind of stakeholder consultations, grand holders. I have been definitely included. There are two more at that time, but that time I told that, sir, ECBC, Energy Conservation Building Code, I have been already a master trainer and expert professional then, 2015. I raised the issue, what about embodied carbon? The people from BE and others, I cannot make it the word insult, but they completely denied the thing. It is impossible to have, and it is futile to have these embodied carbon into ECBC. In the year 2016, I am talking about. And 2024, yes, it is there. I got no recognition. And that has been videographed, entire thing. They told, even they mocked me that it is videographed, sir. It is recorded. Now I may request B that, sir, please give me the record. I can post of that. That is one thing. Second part, I have in these 20,000 square meter threshold, you need to get one accreditation from one body of Quality Council of India, that is called NABIT. Have you ever heard of that? NABIT, Quality Council of India, QCIA. So there is a National Accreditation Board of Education and Training, NABIT. They are actually eligible to give you that an accreditation when you can do an EIA, Environment Impact Assessment. So I have applied in the year 2018, and that was a very national stage of my this environmental journey, because up to 2017 officially I have been in Dushan, and in 2015 I have given my resignation. They denied, kept me 2 more years with more salary than whatever I have taken there, and I stayed there for 1 hour a day, and still they have retained me for 2 years. So in 2018 I have been fully independent auditor or consultant. In 2018 I have applied with all the requirements, and NABIT denied that application. So that time I was very much disheartened. I have written something to PM. The letter is still with me. Then I told, in the letter, it's still with me, in my laptop also, in the hard disk also it is there. In that letter I told that, sir, your environmental policy is based on Water Act and Air Act, which is the backbone of Environment Protection Act 1986. But the entire carbon emission coming from, in India particularly, coming from your energy consumption. Because still date, more than 67% of energy in our country coming from thermal, burning coal, directly burning coal. So if you cannot integrate that Energy Conservation Act 2001, then it would be futile. And today it is here. And there is no recognition. So energy efficiency mandate, EC Act 2001, amended 2022, and star leveling scheme. This SE is a star level, 3-star level equipment. Your pump, if it is more than 3 HP, it could have a star leveling. Your refrigerator at your home have a star leveling, your geyser have a star leveling. Many more things. Your future cars would be star leveled. Your flats would also be star leveled. They have started 7 years ago, but after COVID, it was not pursued. But maybe in future, the developer, when they sell an unit, that would also be star leveled. So this star leveling scheme is growing day by day, and they want to encompass the star leveling thing. Have you ever heard of PACT? Now coming from building to industry. Perform, achieve, and rate. It is also Bureau of Energy Efficiency flagship program. What is that? In perform, achieve, and rate, as per Energy Conservation Act 2001, some organizations have been labeled as designated consumer. Designated consumer. How it is being defined? It is 10,000 metric ton of oil equivalent in calorific value. If any organization consumes more than 10,000 metric ton of oil equivalent in a year, then it is labeled as designated consumer. Okay? Any question? Yes?
So how this star system will help us to research the carbon footprint, because lesser star will give price advantage over the more star.
Oh, yes, that is the thing. The auditing, what I have just told, it is a return on investment. Maybe your 3-star machine, AC machine, is costs 35,000, and 5-star machine costs 50,000. So you are paying 15,000 at the time of buying. These 15,000, if you run the machine tentatively from the month of April to September, generally you may run this. And if you are a habitual AC person, then these costs, this 15,000, would be returned within 3 years.
But sir, for building cases, this star system,
Yes.
will there be a good ROI?
Yes, that is in building, when you are talking about flat or building. Yeah, definitely. That has national interest.
Also, AC which I can change after 3 years, 4 years?
No, you cannot change. Generally, AC life is 10 to 12 years. So, if you get your investment returned within 3 to 3.5 years, another 4-5 years, it is free. It is completely free. So, in 4-5 years, you are getting more what you have spent at the time of buying. So, that's the cost. I have told you, net present value, NPV, your 1 rupee today will not be 1 rupee after 3 years. It would be 85 paisa. So, the discounting rate is generally, we generated 8 to 10%. So, if you put this NPV value, NPV term in AI, then you would be getting the entire equation. So, when you get this thing, 15,000, in 3 years, it would not be 15,000, but you would be getting more than 15,000 within 3 years. So, net present value would be much less. So, that's the equation. Because AC machine you cannot change every 3-4 years. Generally, it takes 15 years as per Bureau of Energy Efficiency. But even if you are putting it for 10 years, then the return on investment is 3 years. In simple way. And in building, for building sector, that's the pledge Modi ji has put there. So it is a national interest. developed a system for designated consumers. Designated consumers, they have given a target that for steel, per metric ton of your means manufacturing, you maximum need to spend this much of kilowatt hour. So energy we generally get the unit per unit is kilowatt hour. In your electricity bills also it is kilowatt hour. So every industry, all the designated consumers, they have given a target. And for the last 15 years, from 11 years, 2015 this PAT scheme started. So last 10-11 years, every industry either they consume less or consume more. If they consume less, then that is a bankable thing. They can bank it on their system or they can sell it to the market. There is an exchange. For just like a stock exchange, there is an energy exchange. IEX platform. The IEX may you can sell your savings. Means you were told to have suppose 2.35 or 235 whatever kilowatt hour per metric ton of steel or cement. You consumes per metric ton 230. So 5 kilowatt hour is your bankable product you can sell to outside, or you can store it for yourself in next year. If you fail to get that 235 value, if your value goes beyond 235, then you can spend from your bankable. That is the system.
So which organization is taking all those reports?
Good of efficiency. And the platform is, there are 2-3 platforms for this trading. It is IEX and another one or two. I very much recognize IEX because I tell you that story behind my personal experience. It is a discussing my personal experience with all of you because I am from that level, so that you can relate that directly. You can question me, you can relate it. Means relate it directly from me. Another thing, there is a new thing in 2026 called Indian carbon market. Have you heard of that? ICA. Indian carbon market is launched January 2026. We were an applicant. My company Ensimulated Solutions were an applicant. We have been shortlisted also. In February 22nd or 20th, we have been shortlisted. The list is in Bureau of Energy Efficiency website. But afterwards, the thing is, there is a national steering committee. The national steering committee actually accredited me. The competitors are in this accreditation, FICI, CII, they have got the accreditation, and their turnover is in 1,000 crores or something. And I have also applied, and we have shortlisted as per the criteria they have said. But the BA advised me that, sir, don't come this year. Be prepared more with your more people, and next year we will try to give you accreditation. Indian carbon market is an advancement of the PAT scheme. Means earlier it was kilowatt hour or kilowatt hour to the power 6 or something megawatt hour per ton of any product. Now it is tons of CO2. Tons of CO2 equivalent, not CO2, tons of CO2 equivalent per metric ton of your production. Why it is required? Again, why we need to change over from kilowatt hour to CO2 equivalent?
Increasing the
changed from energy unit to carbon unit, and it is a global thing. So global means the entire, all the nations or United Nations, there is a body, that body who are giving this COP thing. Tell that?
Conference of Parties.
Conference of Parties, but who are United Nations?
IPCC.
IPCC. Yes. IPCC recognized CO2. Because of that, Indian market also transformed from kilowatt hour to CO2. But there is another thing. All kilowatt hour, but all emissions means global warming not only caused by CO2 only. Do you know methane, where India has a very bad record because of our paddy fields, rice production, we have a most emitter of methane. So methane has a potential of 28 or 34 per molecule of CO2. Per molecule methane has a global warming potential GWP. Just Google it, you can get the value. 28 or 34, that much of global warming potential. There is another gas called nitrous oxide, N2O, which is more than 900 or 1000 times. I cannot remember the exact values. It is there. So that much global warming potential, molecule to molecule, than a carbon. So CO2 is not only the villain. There are so many other villains also, and we need to get all those into one platform. But as per Indian carbon market, we now take CO2 and perfluorocarbon, not even methane, because we had it is nation to nation. We try to have these things, because if we declare CH4 as a metric or as a thing, we cannot stand anywhere in globally. So we very intelligently taken aside the methane, nitrous oxide, and Indian carbon market starts with CO2 and perfluorocarbon. Perfluorocarbon actually being used in aluminium smelters for cooling the molten aluminum. So that perfluorocarbon is considered in Indian carbon. So PET, from PET we are going to ICA, and it would be now 9 sectors. I am telling you that also. In Indian carbon market, there are 2 mechanisms. One is compliance mechanism, which is just equivalent to PET, means the sectors in the PET transferred or transformed into compliance under compliance mechanism, but there is another mechanism where you can get carbon credit also. That is called offset mechanism. In offset mechanism, if you can offset any carbon dioxide, if from your institution, from your building, from the paddy field, or from the waste, solid waste, municipal waste dumping yard, so many methanes are there. So if you could take that thing and make a project, you can get carbon credit, which is sellable. Okay, so market is going in that direction. It is already there. You can get just Bureau of Energy Efficiency website. From their programs, Indian Carbon Market, ICM, or Carbon Market, Flip Carbon Market, you will be getting all that. All. Now, coming again back from industry to buildings. Would be right if I stay here. ECBC to ECSBC 2024. ECBC first came into being in 2007. Energy Conservation Building Code of India. It is just like ASHRAE 90.120, 2000, almost like that. ASHRAE 90.1, 2000, those copied and came into being in India, ECBC in 2007. Yes. After 10 years, there is ECBC 2017. Then ECBC 2017, there were many changes. Okay. So ECBC 2017, there were changes. Then Board of Energy Efficiency told that no, we are not copying ASHRAE. We are directly getting the data, indigenous India developed data as per NBC 2016. So the background of ECBC 2017 was NBC 2016, National Building Code 2016. But from then on, market developed and all these certified energy auditor building and mandatory requirement for implementing it nationally, all these things came. In 2024, ECSBC, what is this? Energy Conservation and Sustainability Building Code. So, the sustainability term includes water conservation, solid waste management, and liquid waste management, means your sewage management. So sewage, your solid waste, and water conservation like rainwater harvesting, water low flow fixture, water meter, all these things came into being mandatorily in 2024 ECS. Now, again coming back to the point that there is always some interaction between Ministry of Power and Ministry of Environment and Forest. When in 2024 ECSBC came into being, MOFCC came with some audit rule in 2025. That audit rule is a mandatory audit rule by for the all projects having some criteria, just like this much of cleanup area, this much of liquid waste, sewage generation. So it is given here. That a notification also with me, I can share it. So statutory mandate, EADA oversight, EADA environment audit, designated agency. So any organization, any institution can be, or any individual also can be an EADA. Either it is certified EADA or registered environmental auditor. So audits are conducted exclusively by certified registered environmental auditors. Implements random allocation algorithm to maintain transparency and integrity. So one is including energy, ECSBC, and another is purely environment without energy, environmental audit as per Energy Environment Protection Act 1986. So these two things are certified energy auditor building and either a registered auditor, environmental auditor, or certified environmental auditor within means with them. So then only you can audit any organization or institution. Framework standardization, aligning institutional credential to ensure audit validity, analyzing standard setting bodies, state regulatory agencies, and technical practitioner certification pathways. So EADA actually, who could audit, just like NAVET can tell you that you can be a EIA consultant or not. Here it is not there. You have to pass an exam and produce the certificate. You can be a certified or registered environmental auditor. Yes. Yeah, fine.
So it will be a detail for 5 minutes. No.
There is a break also. Just I have given maybe another 3-4 slides. Okay. So let me finish that. Now, standardized certification, NPC as EADA 2025, whatever I just told, and certified energy auditor building. That is, with these two things are running parallel. Advanced diagnostic tool already told, and here just one thing: the governing laws. Just it is a tabular form. The governing laws. Energy Conservation Act 2001 amended to 2022. For the environment, Environment Protection Act 1986, Air Water Pollution Acts. Primary nodal agency for energy, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and state SDA, state designated agencies. Here EADA Center and State Pollution Control Boards for environment. Technical scope: electrical load, thermal, HVAC, lighting load. Their liquid waste, stack emission, solid waste, ESG. Key practitioners: accredited energy auditor, AEA or energy manager, registered environmental auditors, and unified integration PAD scheme, star leveling system, Indian carbon market also. And here the green credit rules, that carbon credit, green credit rules, environmental impact assessment. So these are two parallel things for energy and environment. Already in our country, these two regulations and parallel regulations getting implemented. Decarbonization trends 2021 to 2026. The decarbonization trend is like this. Decarbonization. Decarbonization. So initially in 2021, the decarbonization impact 21%. Now it is more than 91%. Everyone is trying to decarbonize because of regulation. Principally because of regulation.
Energy auditor and environmental auditor.
Yes.
What is the basic difference? Is the same meaning?
No. Just
what is the?
No. I am again returning back to that. Here, this is the first column is energy. Second column is environment. Look.
What are the aspects there? Is the environment?
In the environment aspect is Environment Protection Act, Energy Water Act, and Air Act. There are 3 acts. And environment, still in India, environmental rules are governed by these 3 things. 3 acts: Environment Protection Act, Water Act, Air Act. All these things. If you are going to get a CTE, consent to establish. Have you ever heard of consent to establish? Consent to operate? State pollution control boards are giving. If you are going to install a small factory, you need to get a consent to establish. If you need to have any double done. Along with health license, you need to get one consent to establish. So all these things, consent to establish is actually the governed by Air Act and Water Act.
So is it, or residential will be also coming under that or not?
Residential building, earlier it was not within the purview of that, up to 20,000 square meter built up area. More than 2 lakh square feet built up area projects only coming for environmental clearance and consent to establish, consent to operate.
20,000 square meter.
Now it comes down to 5,000 square. From 20,000 square meter, now if you want to construct any building of any type, office or residence, if it is more than 5,000 square meter, means around 55,000 square feet, then you need to get consent to establish under Air Act, Water Act by State Pollution Control Board. Okay. So,
pathology lab, why is it required?
pathology lab, there are the samples they would be using that could, if that is untreated, then it could impact your water system. It could soil system. It could contaminate the soil system, your water system, even in some cases your air also. Because if you use acids or these alkalis to test those things, those acids, alkalis could put something into ambient air quality.
This act and law, are they equally treated?
No, act is means the frame. Law is actually the rule book that on that act you have to follow this rule. Act is first, rule is there. And these Air Act, Water Act, their rules also, environment protection rules also. So rules are on the basis of that Air Act and Water Act. So environment is based on these three acts, and energy conservation is means what we are talking about, carbon and energy. These are Energy Conservation Act 2000. It is amended in 2020. And all of
there will be several laws under act.
under same act there could be several.
Act is much more versatile.
Act is actually the frame. From there the laws are brought. So it is the thing, you can differentiate it, and both are running for last, what I have told, decarbonization. Decarbonization is running so high, the trend is so high, you need to, otherwise by 2070 you cannot go to that level. In next 5 years is most crucial. If this government could make it institutionalized, means whether this government rules or not in next election, if they make it institutionalized, then nobody could change it. You need to follow. Even in USA, the president to president, it changes. But India, we are trying to make it so institutionalized, nobody can change. Because at the time of Congress government, the Energy Conservation Act was implemented. So earlier BJP government tabled that, cleared that, but after that Congress government taken it for next 10-12 years. Maybe slowly, but they have all these certified energy auditor exams, all this started in the Congress era.
So this is from central level.
This is central level. And no state. State has those things, and state pollution control boards who are giving you the permission to start a factory, to start a laboratory, to start a that kind of building. So these things. Okay. The strategic action, that compliance long-term roadmap. So these two websites, I request everybody, these two websites you should go please to take into cognizance that what is there. If you want to have energy audit or environmental audit, you need to go to this website, Bureau of Energy Efficiency and Ministry of Environment Forestry. Now it may take some time, sir. So just we may take a break for 5-10 minutes and come back here.
So within 5 to 10 days,
এনার্জি মিটিং হচ্ছে টেম্পারেচার
frameworks. Comprehensive technical study, the slides afterwards, analytical cycle, ISO standardization, and Indian accreditation ecosystem. We have already discussed all these things in piecemeal basis, but the slides are like this. So presentation agenda, energy audit, environmental audit, dimensional scope, 4-stage cycle, standardization, ISO 50001 for energy management system, and ISO 14001 EMS, environment management system standards. National ecosystem, governance mechanism implemented by the Quality Council of India and the NABCB. National Accreditation Board of Certification Bodies. Foundation of energy auditing, analyzing baseline energy input, operational losses, efficiency indices, strategic action plans to achieve absolute conservation in manufacturing and building systems. What is energy audit? EC 2001 statutory definition. A systematic resource verification, energy audit is the key to a systematic approach to decision making in the area of energy management. It attempts to balance the total energy inputs with its use and starts to identify all the energy streams in a system. Analysis, identification, action plan. Energy audit classification, preliminary audit, walkthrough, already I have discussed, and detailed audit, it is comprehensive. So in walkthrough audit, we generally get the data from the client, all their filled up questionnaire and electricity bills and whatever data we require. And from there we understand the potential of a detailed energy audit, because a detailed energy audit takes a sizable time and good resource utilization, because to develop a model, to run a model, to iterate the model for different scenarios, it takes a lot of time. Be it a small or big building. In big projects, it takes maybe 4-6 months of time, because when we are doing some institutional building, we are working on Assam Skill University. We are working on Neutia, Ombuja Neutia big hospital projects, 9 lakh square feet. One project at Taratala, it is coming around 3 lakh square feet. We are thinking of, maybe negotiation are still on, maybe on 27 lakhs square feet hospital city by Adani coming to Rajaram. We may be working on that also. Because architect getting the project, he would be delivering the entire energy environment thing to us. So that is the thing. So detailed audit takes time. We generally take a call whether detailed audit is required or not. Now, key energy audit parameters, electrical parameters, thermal performance, auxiliary system. These things are energy parameters, and foundation of environmental auditing. EPA 1986 compliance mechanism, and environmental audit, objective, systematic, documented, and periodic evaluation of how well environmental organization, management, and equipment are performing. Compliance verifies adherence to statutory national discharge standards, risk mitigation, continuous improvement. Regulatory compliance, environmental liability, and functional operations. Here, one thing I just want to mention, our environmental liability, as per some international body dictates, polluters pay. That's the term. The environmental people may know that polluters pay means whoever doing the pollution, they have to compensate for the environment. So there are big litigations, even which have gone to Supreme Court also, and the compensation amount maybe some hundreds of crores. So just like aluminium factory. No, in one of our project, Ombuja Shiliguri Hospital, they have violated just in exceeding their permissible built-up area to some extent, 200 square meter, 2000 square feet beyond their sanction plan without getting environmental clearance. They were charged 60 lakhs of rupees for that 200 square meter additional built-up area without getting environmental clearance, and they have paid that. So this is the thing: environmental liability and functional operations. Singular pathway, water usage, audits, hazardous waste stream tracing or localized supply chain footprint checks. Audit scope and dimensional analysis, energy management system, water balance and conservation, solid and hazardous waste, stack and fugitive emission, biodiversity and ecological impact. When we are clubbing together, means energy as well as environment, so these are the pillars: energy management, water balance, solid and hazardous waste, stack and fugitive emission, biodiversity and ecological impact. Now, energy system monitoring, electrical grid boundary, thermal utility boundary encompasses power transition diagnostic from high voltage switchgears to localized end use machinery, power transformer, main electrical panel, VFD, lighting optimization. All these are actually, we need to understand how the energy system functions in a project, either be it a building project or a manufacturing plant. And thermal utilities, principally thermal utilities of, for building, it could be of boiler also, because in some 5-star hotel project, boilers are used for hot water system. Apart from, because boilers are more efficient in case of volume water heating system than geyser. Even heat pump, if you the mechanical engineers are familiar with heat pump has a very high efficiency, converting the air, means heat from air to your water system. So that also we consider. Boilers take to gas oxygen level and burner firing rates and all these things. Now, coming to water quality management, industrial water footprint analysis, water balance diagram, ETP system efficiency. For building, residential, commercial, it is STP system efficiency, rainwater capture. So ECSBC takes into account of all this. Anyone having water balance of a project? What is water balance?
Consumption, production.
Yes, definitely. Means where do we get the water? Either it is from borewell or municipal supply or rainwater harvesting or reuse of STP water, and then how much of what? Because this much is consumed for domestic, for your for a residential I am talking about, for your drinking, cleaning, bathing, whatever. So domestic, and another is flushing. So these are the main two things. Flushing means your toilet flushing, and apart from that, a building could have your landscape water requirement, your yard washing, your campus cleaning, then car washing. You may have cars and car washing got lot of water, car washing, and gardening, landscaping, yard washing, car washing, and this mostly these three things. So these three things particularly we are for big projects, cooling tower makeup water. Cooling tower makeup water also consumes a good lot of water.
But that should be recycled.
That STP recycled water is being used in cooling tower, landscaping, yard washing, so treated water. So this is the balancing. Water from where and being used how. Even flushing is being flushing is done through flushing is done through recycled water. So we are making some diagram, flowchart diagram, and getting the quantifying each and every areas and get the total 100%. So that is the water quality. Efficiency means ETP, STP, how much water comes and how much water goes out. So the solid part is switched, so that 10% is getting out as a solid part of the whatever water coming in. And then rainwater capture. Rainwater capture has different state has different rule. In West Bengal, the areas as per CGWB, Central Groundwater Board, they have some regulation. The regulation is where the groundwater is above 8 meter. Groundwater table is above 8 meter. It is not mandatory to recharge. You have to store 1 day rainfall. So 1 day rainfall, how do you calculate? So the annual 5 years rainfall data, and then with that your runoff coefficient, your roof, your green area and all. So 1 day, how much water you get in your project, and that water either it is to be recharged or stored. And West Bengal, there are some more rules for more than 20,000 square meter, but each and every state has it is different. It is not Government of India regulated thing. So rainwater capture and waste stream optimization, hazardous waste management, and enforcing strict compliance to highly reactive, corrosive, flammable process standards, traceable manifestation records matching state pollution board tracking, double walled container vessel preventing accidental baseline seepage, clearly color-coded labels matching international safety symbols, and authorized incineration and specialized landfill partnership receipt. Now, for hospital project, the hazardous waste is as a good value, because in many of the hospitals now coming in and around Kolkata or West Bengal, most of them has cancer treatment facilities. Maybe it is predicted that this area is more cancer prone areas, because each and every hospital around Kolkata have cancer unit. All these hospitals we are doing have big cancer units, and they have LINAC and I don't know very specific things, but that radioactive materials. So that those are highly hazardous material, and other than that, whatever operations means wastage, human body parts, everything. So these are biohazardous things. Every hospital has a very good solid waste management area, and specifying each and every area what would be stored where. So particularly in building projects, hospital projects are mostly critical for these hazardous wastes. And non-hazardous waste, we have solid waste, plastic, paper, metal, glass, all these, as well as your wet waste like food waste, garden waste, all these waste. We generally track and put that either in a organic composting machine, or if the project is big, then vermicomposting is also an option. Just like an institution like yours, vermicomposting could be thought of, because there are some land somewhere outside your campus, means around the campus. So vermicomposting could be a good option if properly adopted. Now atmospheric emissions, stack emission, these are the things, means the table is like this, the pollutant and the measurement, and then the means mitigation measure. Stack emission means from the chimneys, 2.5 PM10 SOx NOx. Then how to measure? Isokinetic chimney testing probe, and the mitigation is electrostatic precipitator, gas scrubbers, fugitive gas, methane, ammonia, chemical vapors, and handheld photo ionization detectors, gasket retrofit, mechanical seal upgrades, process venting, volatile organic compounds, absorption tube chromographic analysis, thermal oxidation recovery system, and combustion vehicles, carbon monoxide soot opacity, exhaust optical density measurement, EV transitions, catalytic converter update. And for usability of any basement as per ECSBC, you must have 8 to 10 air changes per hour as well as carbon monoxide sensor inbuilt within the building. So for any basement, you must have CO sensor, CO2, not CO2, CO sensor and ventilation rate as per NBC more than 12 capacity. Normal ventilation 6, but in case of carbon monoxide concentration, you have to go beyond 12 so that it could be diluted.
12 is what is the unit?
Huh? 12 air changes per hour, ACPH. Air changes per hour. Air changes per hour, how it is calculated? If you get a volume, then per hour that much of volume to be replaced by fresh air. Now ecological buffer zones, vegetative covers, acoustic dampening, soil composition. Vegetative covers in West Bengal as per Urban Forestry Act, 20% of the project area has to be virgin green. Project more than 20,000 square meter built up area which require prior environmental clearance that should have at least 20% of the virgin area, not over the basement, not over your roof, virgin area to be vegetated, have plantation, tree plantation, and that also adaptive as well as drought tolerant spaces, those kinds of spaces. Okay, now for industrial project, as per Central Pollution Law Control Board, it should be more than 33% of the land area. Means if you are going to have another DSP type of project, now you need to have 33% area as green cover. The CPCB or Porivesh MOFCC tells it green cover. In Pollution Control Board, they tells it urban forestry. Acoustic dampening for your DG set, it should be low noise, should have acoustic enclosure, and soil composition you need to check regularly whether any spillage or any kind of degradation is happening. So in EC project also, as per MOFCC guideline, you need to produce 6 monthly report. Means when EC is granted to your project, you start your project, then every 6 months it cycles is some up to March to be submitted by June, and then up to September or something submitted by next December, like that. No, environment clearance. The projects which gets environmental clearance, there is a list of conditions there. So you need to submit a 6 monthly report every time, every 6 months after getting the clearance, that this is the conditions laid down there and we are doing this. And there is a form B. In the form B, you have to produce 4 types of environmental parameter report. Air, your 1 station or 2 stations if the project is big, noise, soil conditions, and water. If it is there are two types of water, groundwater and municipal water, then two types of water. Every 6 months you need to get the reports by an NABL accredited laboratory and submit the form B along with filled up form whatever conditions laid down in EC. It is mandatory. Otherwise, if you do not do it at the end of the project, when you are going for consent to operate, then it will be denied. It could be denied. Four-stage operational audit cycle, planning, field data collection, technical analysis, reporting already told. Planning and pre-audit already I have discussed elaborately. Specific energy consumption. Now it has already been told also, total energy consumed in kilocalorie or kilowatt hour and total production output in metric ton. I have told kWh per metric ton, that has been discussed. In PAT scheme also, that metric has been there to govern the scheme. And material energy balance, baseline efficiency, regression, it is a statistical thing, but you need to know specific energy consumption. In building it is a different, I will be coming to that. Now reporting action plan, it is also not that important. Standardization, coming to directly standardization and ISO frameworks. For energy, it is ISO 50001. For environment, it is ISO 14001. So, whoever want to practice in energy environmental audit, myself including, should go with lead auditor certification of ISO 50001 and 14001. In future, it would be a mandatory thing because only passing certified environmental auditor, certified energy auditor may not be sufficient. Government still not mandate it, but it may be a thing. So these are the management process, and it is the standardization of the system, whatever our state is doing and whatever another state of another country is doing. It is an international system. So every country who is reporting on a same standard, that could be apple to apple comparison. So there is a guideline, you need to going through that.
After passing the exam, actually you can become the auditor or consultant.
You can be an auditor, could be in-house also. In-house also.
It's not a government job.
No, definitely not.
It's a certification.
No, it is a certification, but after that, many professors are doing consultancy. They give the institution 30%, 33%, whatever be the norms. Many Durgapur University, the college, every corporate, they are doing consultancy. Big consultancy are going to them. Just now, after the collapse of Taratala project, all the building projects now mandatorily get audit from either Durgapur or B college. So the professors are bogged down with their building project. They are auditing every time, whatever the design. And there are also, there is so many things are there. So whatever actually designed and whatever executed, there is a lot of difference. So all these things are happening in country is India. No? So it is going on now. All the projects stalled. Now everything is getting audited, and structural auditing is done. The principle is right, but it is has to be all the design reports are to be vetted by either Durgapur or B college. So this standardization and ISO frameworks, ISO 50001 energy management, PDCA cycle, plan, do, check, act, and core performance indicators that develop regression baseline to account for raw material density, track absolute energy intensity, integrate procurement metric to favor high efficiency machinery, maintains regulatory compliance through standardized document storage. It is 50001. regulatory adherence and life cycle perspective integration.
What is the meaning of this term? 50,001, 40,000?
These are the ISO. There are so many ISO, just like ISO 9001.
This number indicates it.
Yes, yes. 9001, that is a quality management system. Means our organization is, my organization also, a 9001 certified organization, and that also certified by an NABCB body. All the, you can purchase a within 5,000, 6,000, an ISO certificate can be printed in your company's name. But our system is not like that. It is audited by an NABCB, National Board Accreditation Board certified organization, verification body. They have certified our company. So 9001 is the base thing of a company, of an organization to get certified. Means we are now quality management. Means our management system is checked. 14,001 is your environmental system. Whether your organization, just like your these things, maybe your institute, it could be ISO 40,001. 50,000 energy management. It is whether this is following energy management, quality management system. ISO is International Organization of Standardization. So all the standards
We are supposed to get all the standards.
may not be, because it has a cost.
So ISO certified means what?
ISO certification has a cost because it needs a lot of effort to make it in line with the standardization procedure. So you need to get the process, system, you have to follow that. It has a cost. So government still not mandating it, but one day they come up with that as part of our net zero requirement we need to standardize all. So that is the process. QCI, NABCB and Indian accreditation. Now coming directly to that, demystifying the national quality infrastructure of India, analyzing the strategic role of Quality Council of India and NABCB in standardizing environmental auditing system. QCI, you know, some of you definitely know that it is a pivotal role in standardizing auditing practice by establishing national accreditation route, accreditation oversight, interministerial link and capacity training. They are doing all this. Now NABCB accreditation framework, NABCB accreditation path, the National Accreditation Board of Certification Bodies accredit certification bodies, ensure strict unbiased evaluation process, credibility to energy environmental certificate issued by India and operates under multilateral mutual recognition agreement internationally. NABCB holds that position in India to implement the management system, be it energy or environment, and quality assurance definitely. The operational framework ensures transparent and standardized corporate sustainability reporting, reduces conflict of interest between industrial operations and auditors, validates continuous calibration protocol, enforces legal and liability requirements on environmental auditors, and builds trust for public and private green bond investments. And another thing is green bond. Green bond, do you know about anything about that? Huh? No, green bond. Yes.
So money is being collected to invest in means by those projects which are related to environment friendly projects. But that money is being raised, capital is being raised.
Yes, fantastic. So many things, international bodies are also there, government bonds are there, and now many banks, private banks are giving you these things. How? Have you ever recently or within last five years gone to have some FD? Have you have anyone FD? No, FD, fixed deposit. If you go to the FD option, just I want to have an FD, maybe 1 lakh of rupees. I want to buy an FD. For interest rates are there. 1.5 year, the interest rate is this. After that is this, that. So if you opt for green FD, your interest rates are lower. So you intentionally getting lower money as an interest for global environment or a national environment. So they are collecting money, they will be returning you less amount in terms of interest, and they are putting those money in green projects. So a kind of donation you are putting for the national global interest. So green bonds are there, and now government, many government, USA government also, European government definitely, Indian government coming with green bonds, that they are issuing bonds, maybe 1,000 rupees one fee, you can n numbers of bond. For 5 years, you will be getting at the rate of interest 6.5%. Suppose it may be 12% also, I don't know. So it depends on government. If it is not a lucrative thing, you are actually volunteering your money to have some environmental good of the country or the globe. So that's the thing. Sometimes the CSR activity of many big companies, every companies by, as per Indian Ministry of Corporate Affairs, 2% of their net profit or something, they need to give as a CSR, corporate social responsibility, mandatory. So this 2% money, sometimes they put it into bond, just to have that utilized for green projects. Strategic auditing outlook already covered, combining energy and power auditing protocols, unified approach to industrial decarbonization, establish your organization roadmap early to manage statutory compliance and climate risk. Now, at this level we have a break. Now, technical deep dive in energy auditing and engineering analysis, advanced diagnostic tool, hybrid renewable integration, HVAC system optimization, normalized energy performance indicators. I have already discussed, going into details. Advanced audit tools and techniques already discussed. Utility thermographic auditing told, electrical inspection safety. Here also, electrical inspection, all the banks and all of their branches are annually audited by a safety auditor. We have recently got enlisted at SBI for their 500 or 5,000 branches in and around West Bengal, Sikkim, Andaman Nicobar. So all their branches to be annually audited. We are empaneled on it. We have done recently Samriddhi Bhavan, the electrical safety unit. Smart metering and telemetry. 15-minute telemetry internal visualization. What is that? Telemetry. Yes. Then 15-minute telemetry means we have the every cycle of our demand, means in our meter, KWH meter, which the CSE or WBSCDCL, they are getting data monthly or 3 monthly, I don't know exactly how the metering system here. So it is monthly, quarterly. So in Kolkata by CSE it is monthly. So every month they are taking the reading and giving the bill. So in monthly bill, they have your maximum demand per 30-minute cycle or 1-hour cycle. In the CSE meter, it is either 30-minute or 1-hour cycle. So one day in 24 hours, every 30-minute or 1 hour, they are getting your demand reading, KVA reading, and that reading comes in your bill that your maximum demand has gone to that value in that month. but it's again coming down to 15-minute cycle. And these things, every 15 minutes, your demand, your power factor, your surge, all these loads are getting either stored there by a data logger or imported to a separate system where you put the information. Means you want to get in your laptop with that IP address. So every 15 minutes that data would be transported, or after a month, full month's 15-minute interval data would be coming to you. So you understand how the spikes are there. Building energy simulation already told, envelope optimization, life cycle retrofit, dynamic thermal engines, all these. Here I have given you two software names, Energy Plus and EcoEst. EcoEst also using the same Energy Plus engine, simulation engine. Energy Plus itself is could be easily means open source engine. You can get it. So if you just check EcoEst, then it is a free open source software for energy simulation of a building. Renewable energy integration. Now, how many types of renewable energy have you heard?
Solar.
Two, three.
Photic.
Huh?
Sun thermal.
Yes. Biomass. Hydrogen definitely, but not that. Fuel cell. Fuel cell a kind of a is hydrogen type of thing. Kind of. Wind. You have already told. 7. So solar. EV also it is not EV. No, it is not sorry, renewable. EV is a technology. It is a technology. It is not renewable energy. It could be charged from solar, from other, but the energy comes renewable energy. It's all 7. You have already told. Nuclear, you cannot tell it purely renewable because it has a hazardous waste, and it also not infinite because you need to depend on that radioactive material, uranium or thorium, whatever it is. HVAC system, these things are most important. Variable frequency drive. Look, recently I have one thing. Have you heard of BLTC technology, the electrical? Yes. Can you explain? I just want to learn because yesterday only I break my head on that. Because I have to sit for the CEA building again. I have done all these things again. I have to sit. What to do? I have to sit for paper 5 and 6 on 27th September. Now tell me about BLTC in detail. How it is done. Why it is different from and why it is efficient than normal induction model.
There is commutator is there.
Uh-huh.
In this case, there is no commutator. Static device switching is there.
Instead of a fixed excited rotor, it has fixed permanent magnet.
Yes, great. Next. That is a very good point of reducing your loss, means the wearing loss.
For that, this voltage is very less.
Yes. Another thing is, it gets AC converted to DC, and then again that DC going to AC with a 0 to 10 volt signal, and there is actually the electronic commutator which actually makes the entire communication with AC to your again the rotor, so that the start current also very low. And your what do you do? Since it is a permanent magnet, the loss for the rotor's current, that is induction current, that is also reduced. So heating also reduced.
Permanent magnet will not lose its efficiency with time.
That is my question. And another question is, permanent magnet because of China is getting scarce. So should we be so many dependent on permanent magnet? Because rare material coming 90% from China. So that also there is a dependency. So we need to think of that. How could we get the permanent magnet? Otherwise, BLDC for fan, it's all right. But for industrial use, now all the motors are going into BLDC. Mass scale. No, it is getting mass scale also. Your washing machine, your yes, everywhere it is BLDC because of the high efficiency. 120 per fan, it coming down to 30 watt. Now, mechanical engineers, can anyone tell about economizer? Economizer.
Yes, flue gas from the boiler, flue gas from the boiler is getting out, and that heat is utilized in the machine called economizer. And in this economizer, the boiler heat from water that is coming, it is heated, and after it is heated, and after it is placed into the drum, and after how much water is inside.
Yes, great. But that is for industrial and a kind of dual generation kind of, tri-generation kind of thing. Means your waste heat recovery. Yeah. But here I am talking about HVAC system. Building economizer, HVAC system. Building in HVAC system, we need constant outside air for fresh air ventilation. Otherwise, these just like these machines are rotating this air only. So after some time it would be stale. CO2 would be going high. Now in central air conditioner, there should be some fresh air dampers. Now when outside temperature almost falls to that level, that the enthalpy, there is an enthalpy rating of the outside air is lower than the enthalpy of the you produced, then the outside air getting treated and directly pumped into your system without compression. Without compressing the thing, so compression energy gets reduced. Here you are using air economizer. There is another water economizer also. Then your water, which is running in a through chiller pump, there also the water, if ambient temperature goes down, then that water is getting indirectly cooled there and getting back to the system and going without compression, going to the your air handling unit. So that is water economizer. And in that, if taken into account, then your HVAC, particularly for commercial buildings where 50 to 60% of the energy goes to HVAC system, during some time of the year, that energy could be saved. And it is applicable in temperate composite climate, particularly just like Delhi or Jaipur and Bangalore, where you require 24 to 30 degrees centigrade thermostat temperature, and your temperature goes down below that outside ambient air, dry bulb temperature. If that goes below that, then you can directly pump that into your system. think you know what is COP. So, and for everyone, it is the energy input and thermal output. And those the energy, but since electrical energy is higher quality energy, so COP is always more than 1, much higher. Not going into that much, benchmarking and performance KPIs. Baseline normalization. Now again, there is a different types of building or facility and KPI. KPI means, have you ever heard of EPI, Energy Performance Index? How? What is EPI of a building? EPI is a kilowatt hour per square meter per annum. So, when you compare two office building, 8 hours building, you just ask for what is your EPI. If it is maybe 100, then 100 kilowatt hour per square meter per annum is the target, the key performance index of that building. Now, if it is an industrial facility, then kilocalorie per metric ton. We have already told kilocalorie per metric ton. And for HVAC plant performance, average kilowatt per tonnage. How much power per tons of refrigeration you require. And for solar plant, kilowatt hour per kilowatt peak per day. How much in a solar plant? What is per day kilowatt hour in India average value? 1 kilowatt peak. 1 kilowatt peak installation. How much kilowatt hour per day average value? No, per meter square. Installation in kilowatt peak. What is the capacity of a single solar panel? 1 by 2. Is there any solar panel here? In your? Yeah. So, a solar panel generally takes an area of 1 meter by 2 meter. 1 meter wide, 2 meter is length. So, what is the wattage? No. It is earlier, last 2-3 years ago also 330 watt per panel. 16 into 330. 16 to 330. Now it goes to Adani Power and all. They are now giving you 550 to 600. Become solar also. 550 per panel. So, if you install 2 panels, then it is 1 kilowatt. Almost. How much energy you are generating? How much unit per day you are generating? How much? 4.5. 4.5 kilowatt per kilowatt. Per kilowatt. Now, if we take 6 in the morning to 6 into the evening, so it is 12 hours. So 12 hours into 1 kilowatt, it should 12 kilowatt hour. No, it is not that. That much is not. So it is generally, that is in peak, kilowatt in peak. There is not the regular. Average 4.5 to maximum 5, but 4.5 is all India average. For southern state it is higher, for the northern state it is lower. That is of the solar achievement. In southern state it is much higher, above 15 degree lat. But here it is much lower. Now, technical decarbonization roadmap, quantitative field diagnosis, hybrid renewable integration, automated telemetry drives, persistent efficiency improvement, ground your audit practice in advanced technical standards. Values and global perspectives in auditing, a comprehensive evaluation of life cycle assessment, quantitative SDG mapping, and international standard compliance framework. Now again coming to that, government, particularly banks, interest rate and their loan feasibility. The bank asking, still now many banks are giving you, SBI also giving you 1% rebate for green building projects. 1% straight rebate. If SBI is giving you a home loan of 7.8% or 8.2%, whatever. So if your project has certificate, so you can claim a rebate of 1%. 1% in the interest rate. Now, banks, many banks are going to have your LCA value. In your flat, what is the LCA value? There is the one figure, the single point figure. At this much of tons of carbon dioxide, you have to give a single figure, and bank interest rates will be automatically developed based on that. In future, next 3 to 5 years, you will be getting that. Because all the products, building material products, having EPD, again, memorize this term, Environment Product Declaration. It is also a benchmark. So decarbonization is a global thing, and it moves so fast. Just in maybe in next 6 months, the scenario will be more something. Now I cannot tell the stringent. The more stringent, that will be better for us, but not for the industry, because every stringency adds some value, means cost on the production, on the implementation. So I cannot. Always it is not only for the environment. For the environment practitioners also, it is good, but not for the industry, because you may remember or may know, Trump is not at all in favor of this carbon. So Paris COP 21, earlier President Biden has approved that thing, but he revoked that thing again. So many skeptics are still there, and being an environmental practitioner, I cannot tell that yes, it is 100% right. I know it is right, everything is fine, but someone just called in my office. So many bombings are happening in Iran as well as Ukraine. So are these green? Now people are squeezing carbon, and they are putting so much of obnoxious things on just for their political gains. It is also not good. So I cannot tell anything about it. So many spaceships are going out by Elon Musk and in all the countries, and they are generating so much of CO2 and all other gases. So that also nothing. How can you tell? So many for the global warming also, forest burning, so many things are done. So we need to understand, we need to go with a middle path, not that much stringency that we cannot maintain that throughout our lifetime. Need to adopt with a slower pace. Maybe. My opinion is like that. For green building certification or for municipal section? No. For green building certification is one thing, and for rebate, you need to produce the project's certificate to the bank. If it is a already constructed project, then you may ask your builder to give you the final certificate, means final certification, either by any green building agency, just like CII, IGBC, Griha Council, EAT, the developer has that. If it is ongoing project, you are going to book a flat, then if that is a green building project, that have a pre-certification. That pre-certification, if you submit that thing to any bank and ask for a rebate, some banks are there. I know that SBI is there, Standard Chartered is there. They are giving you alert. Huh? It's already one. Another 15-20 minutes. Okay, thank you. Now LCA I already told. End of line auditing loops. These are already I have discussed. Life cycle impact, that is also there. So the subject is so huge, I cannot, even a full day also may not be sufficient. So many things come up and all are direct involvement with this energy environmental audit. SDG, have you heard of SDG? Sustainable. How many SDGs are there? 30. So these are the weighting priorities across 13 SDG: climate action, affordable clean energy, responsible consumption, clean water, life on land, all this. International audit standard ISO 14040, 144. These are two for LCA, and so many other things also there. These are LCA tools. 14040, principle 1414044 requirements. These are LCA standards. GRI EU regulatory directives, global compliance roadmap, recent development, already I have told you. These are covered. Star rating large building, I have just told, to more than 20,000 square meters. These are the things you need to think. So if you are interested, you can sit for the exam, and if you are eligible, just go. But we already it is 28th, 30th is the last. So maybe next year. Implication of professional, exploding job market, rise of building ESCOs. Have you ever heard of ESCO? Energy service company? It is particularly energy field, not environment. ESCO, energy service company. Just scroll BE website and MOEF website. You'll be getting all the things. In BE website, there is an ESCO particularly. Energy service company. Look, I have a company. I have a negotiation, or I have a I have an arrangement with any bank or financial institute. I told, maybe your BCRI college, I am going to install, first I make audit. I have seen that huge potential if I change the AC or put a rooftop solar. Then I tell you that I will be putting rooftop solar over your roof. No need to pay, but you pay monthly this much of amount for next 15 years. There is an agreement validated by government of West Bengal or government of India. So I am investing that money. I get a loan from bank. Bank is giving me loan. I will be paying interest to the bank, and I will be getting the money from you. So the company in between, they are called ESCOs, energy service companies. They are doing audit, detailed audit. They are giving the potential of savings, and they are selling the savings for a next 12-15 years. So in 15 years, you will be getting a huge money if the agreement is honored. In sometimes it has been, there is a record that ESCO company lost good amount of money because the agreement has not been honored after 5-7 years. Preparing the mandate. So all these things almost coming. Future directions in auditing. AI and IoT integration, IoT edge telemetry, AI predictive baseline, all are coming. Very blockchain compliance tracking. You are getting a carbon credit project and you cannot get money from two different sources. So the blockchain technology coming into being in Indian carbon market itself. What is the problem? Oh. Oh. Academia industry partnership, campus building as living laboratory, whatever you have just told, that you may want to have a living laboratory here, want to have audit some areas or some building. So that is the thing. We join R&D on predictive control algorithm, credentialed energy professional pipeline. I want to have you more professional coming from this institute, and decarbonization horizon, strategic outlook. This is almost, I have covered almost everything. Yeah. Telemetry is just a two-way communication path. Means whatever data is getting generated there, every 15 minutes the data is transferred to another area. And with the whatever, some systems are like that when your system is getting the data, if there is a correction required, that automatically being done. Either it is stopped or the current flow or something is taken directly. So the system is corrected automatically. That is a kind of it. Otherwise, it is a month-wise data getting in your system. When you are auditing the thing after a month, you get the requirements where to take it. Yes, always it is on. Any other questions from anybody?
If any participant wants to ask any question, you are allowed to ask.
Yesterday I don't have time actually. I can give you a detailed presentation. Yes. These are the things. We have done some model projects. So we can give you the detailed hospital project. There are two things. One are the devices, that how those are performing. Like you have a chiller. So how the chiller is performing? When chiller is performing, your area temperature, air volume, air speed, whether those are different. Your lighting, whether lighting, lux levels are rating, and what are the wattage of the light. So we get those data. So first the equipment wise, we need to get here data. Okay. Now the engine output means whether there is a leak, air leak, or some thermal hotspot is in the engine output. Next is in detail energy model. Get previous data, validate that with your model to make the SR means previous data and your model. You have the average and your model just keep the same kilowatt hour there is none. Some solar panel to pull the load, some green area. So all these things would come into view. And then we need to check for implementing those things, what is the cost and what is the annual energy reduction from the having price of the, maybe it is a 6 to 10 rupees per kilowatt hour, if for 50 minutes. So how much?
Sir, why compare the first one differently here? One regulation is okay, but one that
No, it is a granular the more make you granule form, the more the management is managing the thing would be more accurate. So 15 minutes. In 30 days granularity, in many states government, even in CSC also, they take the maximum demand per 30. But if any demand spike within that 30 minutes, that is getting missed by CSC meters. So it is more granular. Every 15 minutes.
Thank you very much, Saibal sir, for an insightful and enlightening session. I'm sure all the participants have benefited immensely from the valuable deliberations. We have learned so many things. We have learned about Bureau of Energy Efficiency and how they are working. What is ECVC? So many terms we have learned. I think so many people, so many participants are very much interested in this particular energy audit manager, or how to sit for the exam, how to prepare for the exam. So I think sir will ignited something in us so that we could be the energy audit manager or something like that. On behalf of Dr. B.C. Polytechnic, the organizing committee and all the participants, I express our sincere gratitude for sparing your valuable time and sharing your expertise with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. Now I would like to request the participants that after this particular session, we are having lunch break, and during this time we will supply you the article summary form so that you can submit it, and you have to submit it at the end of day 2, session 2. That means after 4:30 you have to submit the article summary report. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Okay, the next session will be from 2:15 p.m. So be in the